Welcome to the Excited Education channel, the YouTube channel which brings you about mathematics and biology. I would like to wish each and everybody who is watching this video to make subscribe, comment, share and like, such that he or she can follow me step by step according to the video that I would like to upload on my channel. So, I'm very willing that you are watching me very well. I wish you a success in my modules. Just subscribe, comment, share and like for more following videos. Welcome to my video.
Cell is the basic fundamental unit of the living organism. Cell comprises organelles, and those organelles are responsible to function different activities in the cell. Cell to be exist, it have to comprises different cell organelles. The cell section of this, there are three sections of the cell. All cell taking food, read waste, reproduce, and those three main sections, they are included or they are found especially in the cytoplasm of the cell. And what we call the cell organelles are found in the cytoplasm of the cell. Those cytoplasm of the cell, it is the gel-like substance where the cell organelles are free moving and floating in that gel-like substance. Those gel-like substance, this is why you found different cell organelles like mitochondria, Golgi bodies, reticulums, and so on. So due to the division of the cell, it divides and hand in hand with those cell organelles also divide. Cell can't divide while cell organelles that are not divide. So those three sections of the cell, or cell taking food, as I said, rigid, waste, and reproduce. Some of them are plasma membrane, nucleus, and cytoplasm are the main section, the three sections of the cell: plasma membrane, nucleus, and cytoplasm. Those are the main that makes the cell. So let us start on the cytoplasm. Cytoplasm, as I said, is a gel-like material inside of the cell. Before you enter in the cell, starting from the cell membrane, outer part or outer layer of the cell, you already reached on those gel-like substance which is called the cytoplasm. These are where most organelles float within, like nucleus, ribosome, vacuoles, mitochondria, chloroplast, ear, Gorge bodies, and rhizosomes. These are what we call cytoplasm of the cell. They move or they float in, moving in and out, up and down, just shaking, which causes the cell membrane to contract and relax. This is what we call the gel-like substance, where those organelles that are floating in the cell. So, as you see here, the organelles are moving and shaking each other according to the particular function that is going to carry out. This is what we call the cytoplasm of the cell. Without cytoplasm, cell can't survive. So the function of cytoplasm, it helps and dissolve solute and move materials. This is like the site of dissolvement and the site of movement. If the substance likely to move, those gel-like substance, they are capable to allow those substance or those materials to move from one place to another due to where it is required to accomplish the specific function. So, dear fellows, make sure and make clear notion about cytoplasm. Let us see also the next organelle, which is called plasma membrane. You can also call it the cell membrane or plasma membrane. It's composed of bilayer of lipid and proteins. These are the composition of the plasma membrane. And plasma membrane is the surrounding the cytoplasm, Those layers that are surrounding the cytoplasm is what we call the plasma membrane, where it is composed of bilayer of lipid and the protein. As you see here, they make the chain bond one to another, and in addition of the protein channel where those materials or the required ions that are moving out and in, and the job or the function of the plasma membrane is allow materials to enter and exit. As you see, for instance, potassium ion, water, and oxygen, they are passing in and out of the cell through the plasma membrane. But for instance, there are some substances that are large and very heavy and complex. In order to move, they use what we call protein channel, like glucose. They use protein channel to move out of the cell through plasma membrane. And you have to know that plasma membrane is semi-permeable. Only specific materials may enter and exit through pores and protein channel. They are selective permeable membrane, which means that there are specific membrane that are there are specific materials that are able to move out. It's not all substance. This is what we call the cell membrane. So let us see another point, which is called the nucleus. Nucleus, it's like the brain of the cell, and it is where all function and all activities that are very important and very useful are taking place. And it is the site of the control. It's like the controlling room. Its job, it controls cell activity. And inside of the nucleus, we found there the chromatin, and those chromatin are long stranded of the DNA. As you see, cells are shaking, but they shake due to the presence of the nucleus, which controls those movements of the cell organelles and accomplish the specific function for it due to where it is required or where it is useful now. So inside also the cell, as I said, comprises the nucleus, and those nucleus comprises the chromatin, which is long strand of the DNA, and it holds information to make protein. The nucleus is the one which holds the information to make the protein. As you know that the protein is the chemical substance that are able or help the cell or the living organism to develop clearly. So nucleus comprises also what we call the nucleolus. Those nucleolus makes the ribosome. Due to fact that the nucleus is like the brain of the cell, it comprises the nucleus, and the nucleus it makes the ribosome. And you know that the ribosome are capable in the process of the protein synthesis. That protein synthesis, as you know, that it is the header of the protein nutrients. Let us see another organelle which is called Endoplasmic Reticulum. For Endoplasmic Reticulum have two parts: rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. For rough endoplasmic reticulum, it receives the ribosome from the nucleus. Since the ribosome are manufactured from the nucleolus, the rough endoplasmic reticulum is responsible to receive those ribosomes from the nucleus to direct it to a specific place for the accomplishing the given task. The tunnel system that transport and making ribosome, this is what we call the function of the rough endoplasmic reticulum. It acts as the system of transport for the living cell. Those ribosomes that are made, they pass through where it are manufactured to the rough endoplasmic reticulum at the end to the specific place where it is already needed. This is what we call rough endoplasmic reticulum as the cell organelle. And without rough endoplasmic reticulum, cell organelle cannot exist, as you see. So the cell organelles, including endoplasmic reticulum, also it floats, or it's in the cytoplasm, or gel-like substances that are found in the cytoplasm, also floating there. And the cell as I said, is the basic unit of the living organism, and it's fundamental. It have to be organized very well to accomplish specific task. So another point that we found that in cell we have all cell organelles from endoplasmic reticulum as organelle comprises rough endoplasmic and smooth endoplasmic. Those are able or are allowing those nucleolus, chromatin, and nuclear envelope to pass through those ribosomes directly to the rough endoplasmic reticulum. As you see, they move from the nucleolus until to the rough endoplasmic reticulum. For smooth endoplasmic reticulum, it is a smooth substance, whereas rough is rough. They have something like hair-like structure. So for smooth endoplasmic reticulum makes fats and break down toxin, and the difference between those endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum, rough and smooth, for smooth the absence of the ribosome, while for the rough the presence of the ribosome due to the specific function that is completing. Smooth, it's smooth as you know. So let us see the organelle called the ribosome. Ribosomes are created by nucleolus, as I said, and are attached or are transferred from the nucleolus through the cytoplasm and already directed to the rough endoplasmic reticulum. For its function, it allows or it supports the manufacturing of the proteins. It's used, or it's a content of the protein, which is also used in the function of making the proteins. So those ribosomes are act as the site of the protein synthesis. You have seen in the process of the protein synthesis, you know that the ribosome attached to the amino acid, and amino acid as monomer creates the polypeptide bond to hold it together to form the polymer, and those polymer formed together and then form what we call the polymer protein or the chain of the protein, due to the presence or the leakage of ribosome and the amino acid. This is the function of the ribosome as a cell organelle that floating in the gel-like substance. Let us see another organelle that are floating in the cytoplasm of the cell, and that is Golgi bodies. Golgi bodies are also another cell organelle that are found in the living cell in the cytoplasm of the cell. What is the function of Golgi bodies? You see the structure of Golgi bodies, and it modifies, it sorts, and it packages proteins. This is the function of the Golgi bodies. They are able to modify, to sort out, and to package the proteins that are made in the ribosomes. Those proteins are manufactured, they pass through, then after passing through the rough endoplasmic reticulum where the ribosomes are attached, and it's like the site of the protein synthesis for the ribosome, and after those chain or those polymer of the protein that are formed, they generated to the Golgi bodies to be stored there due to the specific organelle of the cell that requires the protein. Golgi body is ready to generate that protein to the specific part of the cell where those cell nutrients is required. This is the function of the Golgi bodies. For Golgi bodies, it's like the storage of the protein. Those proteins are attached to the vesicles and transported through the membrane to the Golgi bodies. So the protein shipment, this is where which allows those proteins to move to the Golgi bodies. The nucleus make ribosome, then ribosome travels through rough endoplasmic reticulum, making proteins, then Golgi bodies sort and package that protein that are manufactured in the ribosome, where they are transferred through the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Due to fact that those Golgi bodies that are enclosed in the nucleolus in the cytoplasm, if the body needs that protein that are manufactured, which is stored in the Golgi bodies, the protein chain or the protein support is able to call out through the cell membrane to the specific part of the body. This is the function of the Golgi bodies. I would like to remember you that we are dealing about the cell structure, its organelle, its function, and its anatomy. Let us see a small short quiz. Just discuss with your neighbors in a class which organelle build protein, stores DNA, produce ribosome, creates fats and break down toxin, packages and release protein from a cell, allows materials to enter and exit a cell, link chains of amino acid together. So these are some short notes or some short discussion that you can make with your fellows to understand very well what we call cell organelles and its specific purpose or its specific function. As you see, they are completing their respective function by completing the space that are provided with this question. The cell membrane allows materials to enter and exit the cell, as I said. Ribosome links chain of the amino acid together to make the protein synthesis. After protein synthesis, they produce the protein or peptide chain. So place the following steps of protein creation in order from start to finish. A Golgi bodies package and export the finished protein. You have to make sure that the process of the protein are work through in which way and which process. The first, you have to know that the nucleus makes ribosome. The second, you have to know that the ribosome exits the nucleus. The third, you have to know that the ribosome travels along the rough endoplasmic reticulum and creates protein. After the protein created by ribosome, the Golgi bodies packages and export the finished proteins through Vacuoles. Let us see another cell organelle, and it is called mitochondria. Mitochondria, it is another cell organelle that are floating in the cytoplasm of the cell. It creates ATP energy molecules in a process called cell respiration. This mitochondria is like the engine of the cell. Without mitochondria in the cell, nothing can done in the respective activities to be accomplished by the cell. As you see, it is where it generates ATP energy through the process of the cellular respiration. So dear students, mitochondria is very important organelle in our cell. You have to know that it's only have the DNA molecule inside of that mitochondria, and it carries out the process of called endosymbiosis theory once free living organelles that become part of modern cell. The evidence of the endosymbiosis theory of mitochondria, it have its own DNA and ribosome, as I said. This makes protein, and this evidence make it to be endosymbiosis or endosymbiotic. it replicates as the function carried out in the nucleus. This allows it to be called or to be categorized in the endosymbionts. So endosymbiosis for mitochondria, as you see the figure below, even though the nucleus are not capable to manufacture the DNA, for the mitochondria is responsible to generate a specific or to accomplish its function due to the energy that is made from its sites. So mitochondria ancestor, as you see, it's a large predator cell devours the mitochondria. Mitochondria moving this predator and allow it to mitochondria to survive and then divide. That mitochondria, if survives and divide, it carries out the all functions that are carried out in the nucleus for the process of the cell division as it must be. It undergoes the cleavage formed, then divide, what's called the division of cytoplasm of the mitochondria. After dividing, this is what we call the process of endosymbiosis. Those cells that are divided, they also divide itself. After the maturity of the cell, the cytoplasm of the mitochondria also divide. Then the daughter cell produce to live or to start be self-living. And also due to its maturity, it allows also it to move or to divide. This is what we call the mitochondria as the engine of the cell. Let us see another organelle which is called rhizosomes. Rhizosome contain digestive enzyme. It is another cell organelle that are floating in the cytoplasm of the cell. It comprises enzymes inside of it. Due to any toxin inserted in the cell cytoplasm, the rhizosome is specific to destroy those toxins and then one out of those toxins. It breaks down the food. If the protein is on a large extent, it enters the rhizosome, then it breaks down into food particles and it kills the pathogens. As I said, if the pathogen enters the cell, the rhizosome is responsible to destroy those pathogens to keep the cell effective. This is the one specific function of the rhizosome. Due to the fact that it contains the digestive enzyme, also it acts as it's like the doctor of the cell. Yes, any change or any things that changes in the cell, the rhizosome responsible to check out. If it is the toxin, breaks it down or kills it and then on out the cell. Autolysis, what we call autolysis, means the destroy dying cell. If the cell died, they destroy it and then worn out, cleaning the cell. It's like the cleaner of the cell also. It have to worn out those cells that is already dead, and then the new one cell replaced from where the cell that is dead came from. Let us see another organelle. It is what we call Cydia and flagella. As you see, cell is moving on the cytoplasm. The cell to move, they have small hair-like substance which allows it to move. Cydia and flagella are the organelles that are capable for the movement of the cell. Keep on touch on this. The cydia are short hair-like extensions. Those hair-like extensions due to fact that the organelles that are floating in the cell, in the cytoplasm. It allows it to move or to shake. And the flagella, it's a long whip-like extension, very few. It supports the movement of the cell due to Cydia presence of the cell. In fact, that it is allowed to move from one place to another. Those are the very important organelles that are responsible to allow the cell to move from one place to another to accomplish the specific function for it. And for instance, in a sperm cell and a female cell, the female cell have a capacity or ability to move from its site of synthesis to find the ovum of the female to accomplish the specific function of making fertilization and form or produce the zygote, which grows up to form the living organism. This process is facilitated by the cell, cilia, and flagella presence in the cell. So let us see another organelle is called the cell wall, and that cell wall, it is not always on the whole cell. It is outermost layer of the plants, fungi, and bacteria, except on the living animal cell, there are absence of the cell wall. But for the fungi and bacterial cell, even on plants, it is why you find those cell wall as the cell organelle. It is a very important and very crucial organelle on the cell for plants and fungi, even on the bacteria. Even though the cell comprises cell membrane, for the fungi, bacteria, and plant, they comprises also another part called the cell wall, which allows it to contrast without bursting. Here you have to know that if the cell full tagged, for instance in animal cell, it bursts, but for plant cell it can't burst due to the presence of the cell wall, even on the fungi and the bacteria. It adds supports for the growth and made of tough cellulose, hard to digest. This is the reason why it can't burst due to the full taggedity of the cell for both on fungi, bacteria, and plant. It's the main reason you have to understand. It witnessed by Robert Hooke in 1665. Is the one who determined that cell wall are not able to burst due to the full of the taggedity in the both plants, fungi, and bacteria, which is differ from the animals. For it to have cell wall, this cell wall it bursts due to the full target of the cell. This is the very important organelle that help the cell of plant, fungi, and bacteria to accomplish its specific task, even though it is in harsh condition or suitable condition. For the cell wall help the cell, plant, and fungi, even the bacterial cell, to survive in any condition due to its rigidity and hardness. So, dear students, this is the cell wall. I think you have not much about this organelle. Let us see chloroplast of the cell. Even the chloroplast is the cell organelle that are found in the plant cell only. Its job, it performs photosynthesis. The chloroplast comprises the green pigments, and these green pigments traps sunlight. Then after trapping sunlight, due to the presence of oxygen and water, allows the process of photosynthesis to take place. The chlorophyll molecules absorb sunlight and convert water and carbon dioxide into sugar. You see, the sunlight hits the leaf, carbon dioxide released, and oxygen, water through the phloem of the plant, then converts those sunlight. In the presence of that sunlight, water are converted, and water and carbon dioxide are converted into the sugar to be used by the plant in its process. This is the function of the chloroplast. Also, chloroplast have a specific function for acting in the process of endosymbiosis, which is like the mitochondria. As I said, in the part of mitochondria, it comprises its own DNA, its own, where the manufacture or the formation of the new cells are done. The symbiotic theory, these were once free living organelles that become part of the modern cell. Those free living organelles that are floating in the cytoplasm of the cell, it becomes part of modern cell. The evidence of this, it has only DNA and ribosome, it makes protein and it replicates. It carries out all process of cell division, whether it is mitosis or meiosis. Chloroplast and mitochondria have the same function, even though mitochondria are present in the animal and plant. Let us see what we call vacuoles. Vacuole, it is another cell organelle that are found in the plant and animal cell. It comprises water. It controls water in the cell. That is its function. Relaxation and contraction of the cell, it is controlled by the vacuoles. Even you have to know that the vacuole is a large part, or it's a large organelle in the cell cytoplasm. Stores food, water, waste, color, and pigments. The pigments and the water, the food and waste, they are found in the vacuole of the cell. For plant cell, it's a large central vacuole due to the contamination, or due to it contains much water to be required by the cell plant for specific function. This is what we call the cytoplasmic streaming. Due to the presence of central vacuole, much water in it, it allows the organelles composed in the cytoplasm streaming. Animal cells scattered small vacuole. For the animal cells, they are scattered in the cytoplasm and they are very small, whereas for the plant cells are large and it accomplishes the endoplasmic streaming. This is the one organelle of the living cell in both plants and animals. Thank you for watching this video. I wish so you have understood each and everything. This is the short quiz for yourself. You have to take care of it to understand that you have completed this. Enjoy the lesson.
Watching my video.
Thank you so much.
It's Jeremy as usual from the YouTube channel called Excited Education Channel. I wish you have enjoyed my video. So for more videos coming, I would like also to requesting you humbly just make subscribe, comment, share and like, even post on different social medias, such that each and everybody can gain from the what Excited Education Channel provide on the YouTube. So thank you for watching me. May God bless you and your family.